Commercial-free 92 WICB Ithaca. It's time now for Ithaca Zone, which is also made possible in part by Ithaca Guitar Works, offering new and used stringed instruments, repair and custom modification, and accessories. Located in the DeWitt Mall, corner of Seneca and Cayuga Streets, Ithaca Guitar Works urges you to support local music. This week's feature is The Choice, a band that will be appearing at the Ramada Inn this Friday night.
Hi, this is Greg Lieberman, and welcome to Ithaca Zone. Tonight we are featuring one of the most popular groups in the central New York area, The Choice. The Choice consists of brothers Jay and Mark Mendelson, Jay on guitar, synthesizer, and lead vocals, and Mark on lead guitar, while Jim Lawrence is at bass and vocals, and keeping the beat at drums and vocals is Mark Party. Earlier this fall, we had a chance to record them at Kelly's Dry Dock, as well as get their thoughts as to what direction the popularity is taking them. I asked them first about the group's origins.
Jay and I are brothers, so we were getting stuck with
They were born a band. Actually, Mark and I got together one night. So many mutual friends suggested that we had the same kind of interest in music, so we got together and talked about it. And it just so happened that Mark's brother was moving up to New York from Florida, so he got in the band, and then Jim came along a little later on, and took it from there. It's been about 3 years now, though.
Now, how did you finally decide on the name The Choice?
Mark's girlfriend Terry, I think, came up with that one. Yep.
We were having a terrible time deciding on names. We came up with everything from like the lug nuts to the
the DC tins. The DC
tins was one of the ideas. It was. It took a while. We didn't know whether it really mattered or not, but now it would be hard to change the name to anything else.
We're gonna get down to business. This is from our first video. This is called Life of the Party.
Eyes light up, and they think that they're the one for me. When they leave me here and there, and they're running at me, they call me the life of the party. I never know when I've had enough. I'm the one with the lampshade on my head, my forehead. So padded, so that my head doesn't get damaged. Those lines and doors are deadly. Prepare yourself for the meal you'll see. Well, there's a meal with a high. They call me the life of the party. I never know when I've had enough. I'm the one with the lampshade on my head, my poor head. Eyes light up, and they think that they're the one for me. They call me the life of the party. I never know when I've had enough. I'm the one with the lampshade on my head. They call me the life of the party. They call me the life of the party. They call me the life of the party. They call me the life of the party.
Your music seems to have many different facets. Who were some of your early influences?
I saw the Talking Heads down at the arcade in 1977, and
they've basically been a real good influence for new wave music, and there's a lot. I've always listened to a lot of the English music, from the Beatles up until everything that comes over. Yeah,
I think the first thing I ever heard, even new wave, I had been like, a million other kinds of bands, and I really didn't have much direction. And I heard, I think it was a Joe Jackson tune on one of the stations in New York, and I said, wow, I really liked it. And then I saw my first guy with a new wave haircut, and I just looked at him for a minute. I go, wow, I don't know, the whole thing kind of bowled me over at first.
This song called You Keep Thinking. Very good.
I say it's nothing but you won't believe that. Just my freedom and a little at that. Can't let me tell you that. Holding my hand, you keep thinking that I'm doing you wrong. 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 You keep thinking that I'm doing you wrong.
There are many different types of people in Ithaca. Therefore, that leads to a lot of different tastes in music. What do you think of the music scene in this diverse town of Ithaca?
It's going to be a two-part interesting question.
Well, Ithaca has...
We'll let Jim talk because he's lived in Ithaca the longest and has been here the longest in the scene.
Well, I went to college here at IC and back in '73 and graduated '77. So I've played here about 8-9 years. And Ithaca is just a mixed bag of everything. If you want madrigal music, you can find it. If you want new wave or funk or reggae, there's all kinds of music in Ithaca, and they're usually pretty good bands because there's a lot of students come in and out of town, so you get a lot of talent that only lasts a couple of years, and so you know, you can always find good quality music. You know, it's just that not very many bands stay in Ithaca for a long time. Well, mainly because, you know, you're not going to make it big staying in a small town like this. But because of the changeover of so many people every year, you know, there's another new 20, 30,000 people. You're going to get, you know, new musical ideas, and, you know, in that respect, you know, you always find a lot of good music here.
We'd like to do one of the newer Choice originals. This one is by Mark Party, our drummer, and it's called Leave Her Today.
Hear the voice of experience. Take it from the horse's mouth. The girls and extravagance that you can surely do without. Do you wanna stay but walk away? Just tell her no. I got to say, she's in your way. Leave it today. I know what her smile can do. Don't you think she knows it too? Her eyes are a mystery, but you think she's the one for you. Do you wanna stay but walk away? Just tell her no. I got to say, she's in your way. Leave it today. You'll never listen to what I say, but you'll find out anyway. You'll never listen to what I say, but you'll find out anyway. Don't ignore what I say to you. If you do, you'll be just like me. I'm of the unlucky ones who are just too blind to see. You wanna stay, but walk away. Just tell her no. I got to say, she's in your way. Leave it today. She's in your way. Leave it today. She's in your way. Leave it today. She's in your way. Leave it today.
What influence does college radio have on today's music, do you think? And does the fact that there are two colleges in Ithaca, do you think that enhances the town's knowledge of new music?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think that's the key. Advantage of the population. It never seems to allow anything to get too stagnant. Before, like, you know, there's just all this mixing. You know, people from all over the place, and you know, when they're there for 4 years, they're gone. It's like Jim was saying. It's just
One other
lot of
important influence, I think, of the colleges is that I would say a majority of students come from New York City area, and New York is the forerunner of what's going on, and so you get a lot of those students who are watching MTV at home and then come up here and expect to see or hear that kind of music. And Ithaca's behind in the visual medium as far as MTV.
The college radio is pretty good here, though. I mean,
Yeah.
plug the radio station.
Oh, yeah.
Well, shows like Radio Wave, really took off, and I hear they expanded, and they obviously are hearing what's going on in New York and other progressive places. So it's good to have that atmosphere in a town as small as Ithaca too.
This is from the side B of our new single. It's called She's Just a Little Bit Strange. Hear that sound. She's just a little bird. I don't know she was. She's just a little bird. I don't know she is. She's just a little bird. And that she'll always be. She's just a little bird. So strange. She doesn't wear the latest fashion. She looks so special. She's just a little bird. She's moving like. She's moving right out, so move it on now. She's just a little bird, and you know she was. She's just a little bird, and you know she is. She's just a little bird, you know she'll always be. She's just a little bird, so strange. I know, yeah, I know, 'cause she told me so. She's just a little bit strange. 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 She's just a little bit. She doesn't run all of the town now. I do not mind that, but she's just a little bit. And when she's talking, I don't hear sound now. I say jump. She's just a little bit strange. And you know she is. She's just a little bit strange. And you know she was. She's just a little bit strange. You know she'll always be. She's just a little bit strange. She's a little bit strange. I know strange. She's a little bit strange. I know.
How did your 45 come about, and did you get any help from anybody in particular?
I just wanted to mention something that a lot of people probably don't realize is that Glenn Davis had a lot to do with making our 45, and I just wanted to put in a plug for him. He actually, I think he was the one who came up and asked us one night at practice, who actually thought of the, mentioned it to us, because we'd never really thought about it, at least, and he started the ball rolling.
How do you compare the music scene in England as opposed to America?
It seems to me kind of like it's a whole different thing. Like, you hear the Malcolm McLaren and things like that, and they definitely are whole different concepts than anything you hear over here. You don't hear stuff nobody creates stuff that's like that. Or
it's got a lot to do with radio stations. So,
yeah, stations.
So a lot of the commercial stations, a lot of stuff just doesn't get played. The big stations, they play their set playlist, and anything new doesn't get on until it's already become a hit. There's so many hits, there've been hits like in Europe or in England or something. Yeah. A couple years already been a hit and gone and everything else. Man, it's a hit in the state.
A song called Lost and Found.
You know I've looked for you so many times, and it's true. You're lost and found. You're never around. You're lost and found. You're never around. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you think it is about England that attracts American musicians?
I think bands like the Stray
market.
Cats went and made it big over there, and then came back and
I think
made
that's kind of what happens. It seems that you find a lot of bands that do go over there, and they're from America, and I guess maybe they're just that much different to the people in England, whereas they might be used to hearing all this stuff in England. You know, it might be a little bit old hat, and they come over here and, you know, make it big, and then, you know, then it seems kind of funny. Then they come back here, the American bands.
No,
that
it's
didn't
big.
make it
Yeah,
here.
that's kind of strange.
I think,
You know?
I think the only
Figure that out yet.
the only reason I can see it, and that's from a very biased viewpoint, is that it's that British mystique of like the early Rolling Stones, the Who, and the Beatles.
The British invasion,
Right.
sort of.
Everyone
again.
First wave.
Everyone was so into those bands that now anything coming from England, you've always got those, you know, those bands that influenced you so
It's,
much.
almost,
at
it's
the
not
best
really
time.
exotic, but it's different from what you're used to. But
Yeah.
it's not exotic or anything.
Great haircut.
When people think of music from England, right away they make reference to the old groups such as the Beatles or the Stones. What do you feel about people making comparisons?
You can probably go through a whole string of guys that were the next Dylan, you know, or
Right,
you know,
the next Springsteen.
you know, is Dylan the next Springsteen?
Bob
you know, or
Dylan.
something.
Bob Dylan was the Bruce Springsteen of the 50s, isn't that right?
It's crazy.
Now to change the subject just a little bit, who usually comes up with the ideas for your songs?
Whoever writes the song.
Separately and sometimes collectively,
Right.
too.
Goes in spurts. One guy has a real hot, you know, gets on a roll, and then another guy in the band gets on a roll. You know, it just goes like that. And there might be a time when nobody has any real, you know, ideas for various reasons. You know,
Jay and Mark Mendelsohn put together tunes a lot earlier when they lived together, and now that they've moved apart, they're more, I think we're more writing separately and bringing each idea individually into the group.
And basically, what are some of the themes?
girls. You know, there's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
We do a lot of
We try not to get real heavy.
Yeah, I mean,
Although
Well,
lately
boy
there's
meets
been a
girl.
couple one, yeah, a lot of stuff like
Is
that,
it?
but other things too. But without getting, you know, really.
They're pretty varied. Mark wrote one about waiting for the record to come out, and Jay wrote one about the 21st century, and I wrote one about a relationship between two people, and you know, it's pretty varied. You know, there's
I
definitely
wrote one
there's-
about a real sleazebag rockabilly artist. You know, what kind of guy, you know, would do, you know, like a rock. It was started out to be a rockabilly song, so you kind of picture this image of like, you know, a rockabilly, like some guy with a pack of cigarettes rolled in his sleeve, you know, with maybe a tattoo here, like, you know, something that he did himself, and maybe he crossed it out after he broke up with a girl or something, you know, and you know, things like that, and some guy that's a real fast talker and things like that. You know, just like a
General rockabilly things.
a male kind of, you know. You know, nothing real deep. Pretty shallow, actually. Yeah.
It's our drummer, Mark Party.
the rockabilly.
The song our drummer wrote. Who? Mark Party, our drummer, wrote this song. It's called See You Around.
fast mover till the day I die. I say you'll see me on the corner with a beer in my hand. I got a crazy DA, can't you see I'm the man? I got a pack of non-filters rolled up in my sleeve. When a woman gets too close, that's my signal to leave. I live too fast to ever get old. Living on the move, oh baby, it's in my soul. I go from place to place, I go from town to town. It's been a real nice night, wanna see you around. What I like. I give all the girls a chance for just one night. Well, all the women think they're lucky when I give them the world, but I'm too much for just one girl. Well, baby, I like my coffee hot. I say you'll see me with a woman more often than not. When the morning rolls around, you better kiss me goodbye, 'cause I'm a fast mover till the day I die.
Does playing in New York City seem a possibility in the near future?
We've been getting some radio play down in the city, but we haven't booked any gigs there yet.
Yeah, we're waiting for a good one to come up. You can go down there and spend a lot of time doing absolutely nothing. You know, we'd like to get one set up that's in a nice club that maybe we get a few industry people there to hear us, rather than just going booking a gig in a club and not telling anybody about it and going to play. You won't have anybody there to hear you, especially in New York.
Yeah, just
It's hard
about
enough to drum up a
anybody.
crowd.
Anybody can play in New York if they want to, even in some of the like CBGBs on a weeknights. Anybody can go and play.
But we seem to do real well in the upstate area, Syracuse, Rochester, Binghamton, Elmira. We've gone as far as Dartmouth College in New Hampshire and down
Bucknell
to Bucknell
University
in Pennsylvania. And you know, the college area seems to be a real good market.
It's called Middle of the Night.
1, 2, 3.
Everything's quiet in the middle of the night. She hears him anyway, holding his shoes and the dark is out of sight. She sees him anyway, he thinks by now there'd be a notion or two of what he does with his time. His excuse is always one and the same, he's only wasting his time. Watching the clock, she hopes he won't be late tonight. She wishes she could stay, hustling him out in the middle of the night. It's the only way, she thinks by now there'd be a notion or two of what she does with her time. Her excuse is always one and the same, she's only wasting her time. He thinks he has a fool in the middle of the night. She has a better time when she knows he's out of sight. They think they got it made, they finally got it right. People say they see each other and they don't know what to it's just another day. They think by now there'd be a notion or two of what they do with their time. Their excuses are just one and the same. They're only wasting their time. He thinks he has a fool in the middle of the night. She has a better time when she knows he's out of sight. They think they got it made, they finally got it right. He thinks he has a fool in the middle of the night. She has a better time when she knows he's out of sight. They think they got it made, they finally got it right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You opened for Graham Parker at Cornell this fall. Now, did you notice any changes afterwards?
Not in like jobs-wise or anything, or
We always had
As far as the way we
jobs
dealt with it,
handled.
it
Maybe,
definitely
yeah.
made a change in our attitude.
yeah,
toward doing
attitude-wise,
things like that.
it was good for us.
Were you all happy with the outcome of the concert?
Yeah, because it went smoothly. Everybody dealt with it real well, you know. It was
Real
a
smooth.
good experience. You know, it's a lot different than playing a frat party where things are a little more low key, but everybody's sitting down watching you, so you're really under a different kind of pressure.
Like some guy walking through the middle of the band, stepping on a monitor and falling on it.
Right, just dive. You know,
Taking a nose dive into the floor.
Yeah, it's different, but
They
it's
make it
good
fun.
experience, real good experience.
It's one you may have heard on the radio.
It's called 21st Century.
Don't think, he don't know why. He is the innocent passerby. Confusion, contemplation. He has a revelation. He sees that 21st century. He is that 21st century. He screams that 21st century. It screams at him now. See the way to heaven. He'd buy an AK-47. He'd go to office building. He see his life unfolding. He sees that 21st century. He hears that 21st century. It screams that 21st century. It screams at him now. From many nations can't find the right solution. Walk backwards like an animal. The world is a social enigma. He sees that 21st century. He hears that 21st century. It screams that 21st century. It screams at him now. He sees that 21st century. He hears that 21st century. It screams that 21st century. It screams at him
You also opened for the Gang of Four. Now, how did these two shows come about for you?
Well, the Cornell Concert Commission came to us. We were actually playing a gig at the Nines in College Town, and they asked us if we wanted to open for them. We said sure, and they've heard us. We've played at Cornell University many times, a bunch of frat parties, and a few different times at the pub on campus or
And
at
functions
the
for
Thirsty
the-
Bear Tavern, and we've gotten great response. So they came to us, and the same with the Gang of Four. Booking agent called us and said we were the only band that he could think of that would play original music in the same category. So it's great people have been calling us, and that's a real good sign for the future.
Opening for Graham Parker presented you with your first actual concert situation. Now, did you have to make any changes in your show to compensate for this? You played all of your own material.
It forced us to do that, so that now at least we have some idea how it's going to go, how long it's going to be when we do it, what we need to work on. I mean,
How the songs fit together when they're like that.
It was good for us to do that because because we didn't never had the opportunity before, we never did it,
And we plan on doing it again, so it was a real good experience to prepare for more opening acts, which is just the next step.
Now, did you have to end up altering any of your songs to meet the needs of the particular situation?
Not really. Not the songs themselves. We did segue a couple together just for flow. That's one of the things I think we learned the most is the timing between songs, and it was interesting to sit and watch Graham Parker and how long they took between each song according to the audience response, and
they have it timed out. It's funny. They
as
soon as the audience stops clapping or something, they're already into another song, and they're it's
The spaces are as important as the music itself is sometimes.
Yeah.
In their own kind of way.
And so, being our first time, it was good to get a feel for that response and how to deal with it. So, we're more prepared for the next time.
Now, what do you feel is the appeal of your music?
I think it's the dancing. The dancing is that's our number one. That's our number one reason for playing, is to get people to dance and have a good time. So, at any bar or frat party, they're just about dancing from song one throughout the whole night, and in a way, it takes the focus off of us.
Well, that's
as far as.
Well, it's a feedback loop that gets happening there. When everybody's dancing, you get keyed up because of that.
And then you get going,
and they get going. Right, and it keeps getting, as the night goes on, the feedback builds up, and it just has, the dancing is definitely a key to how well things go.
Now, did you find that the Graham Parker concert, it was restrictive in any way to your usual show?
More different than restrictive. It's just different.
It just, once it started, it wasn't so bad, It was just getting out there and realizing, and all of a sudden, well, you better do it,
And there's no dance floor. There's only seats,
Yeah. So, once the whole thing started, I don't think it kind of, that kind of jolt wore off, and it went pretty good, because we've done these songs millions of times.
Well, and the audience was really responsive. We got real polite applause from everyone, and in fact, we even got an encore, which I was told was the first time that's happened at Bailey Hall for an opening act.
And now that you have the single out and playing, and you have 2 concerts under your belts, are there any recording contracts in the near future?
Very, very, very slight nibbles, but enough to where, say, I believe it was in some regional executive for, was it RCA Records in Buffalo?
Yeah, the RCA regional manager in Buffalo heard us on one of the college radio stations, and I don't know if it was this one, but he called and asked for a tape. So they're listening to it now. We haven't heard a yes or no answer, so I guess they're still checking it out. And also IRS Records was inquiring about bands at Discount Records in College Town. We're sending them a tape also. So at least there's people interested. And
Jim and I have got this grand scheme here. We're going to find all these record executives. We're going to send them a copy of our single, and we're going to we think we might have to hustle a little more maybe than we have been, but we're waiting for a few things to happen, like Graham Parker, things like this. So
mainly getting the act together. Yeah. It's a question of just getting it together to do it.
But we definitely, believe it. We would love a recording contract.
And we hope to get a
So all you record executives out there, if you're listening, the choice is ready and willing and able.
And we do want to send or compile a list of college radio stations and send signals to them, just to see if give them a chance to play it, because that's basically our market. So we might as well.
College radio.
Mark, our drummer, wrote this song. It's called "Waiting."
Sign your autograph or write a cheerful say it's Saturday. Skip is what you say. Maybe you'll play it on the stereo. Well, I'm the clothes I wear today, and I don't care anyway. Maybe you'll hear it on the radio. Maybe you'll hear it on the radio. Maybe you'll see it on the video. Maybe you'll play it on the stereo now. Well, they say it's Saturday. Skip is what you say. Maybe you'll play it on a stereo. Well, I'm the clothes I wear today, and I don't care anyway. Maybe you'll hear it on the radio. Maybe you'll hear it on the radio. Maybe you'll see it on a video. Maybe you'll play it on the stereo now. Maybe you'll hear it on the radio. Maybe you'll see it on a video. Maybe you'll play it on the stereo now. Maybe you'll hear it on the radio. Maybe you'll see it on a video. Maybe you'll play it on the stereo now. Maybe you'll hear it on the radio. Maybe you'll see it on a video. Maybe you'll play it on the stereo now.
What do you think about the relationship between college radio stations and new music that, say, maybe commercial radio stations don't have?
I guess just at one time it wasn't as heavy an influence on commercial radio as it was now, as it is now, as the sort of modern dance music's coming out and things like that, or they start on college radio and they go right on out.
It's that same question Mark Mendelsohn brought up, that, you know, commercial radio stations don't want to give new music a chance, but college radio stations will, and so they're gonna play the newer music and be one step ahead of the other stations.
And with all the recent good fortune that you've had, where do you see yourselves heading at this point?
Head home after this and get in the car and go.
We would like to do more of these, you know, and by doing more of them, maybe, like we said before, generate some interest. So I guess
Do more what?
probably, you know, our short-term
Opening.
goals are just to do more
yeah.
opening acts. With our main objective is to maybe, you know, have a hit at one point, you know. I think probably diligence is the biggest thing in this business, and we don't want things to happen too fast either. Might just as well get a good solid following and a good solid set list and a good solid act. You know, you might just as well wait for all those things or get them together.
Some of you may know that we have a single out in Ithaca and a few other places. It's doing pretty well. Getting some airplay in New York and New Jersey, etc. Even New Jersey. But this is the A side to it. It's called Candy.
Who's the one that I'm talking about all of the time? All the time. She's the one that it's all about. candy. You know candy. Oh, candy. I need your candy. Who's the one that I'm thinking about all of the time? All the time. Sure is fine. I make that girl mine. See in my mind. Yeah. And when I'm by myself, she's in my mind. Yeah. Candy. Candy. Oh, candy. Sure is fine. I'm gonna make that girl. Sure is fine. I gotta get her. Sure is fine. I'm gonna make that girl. Sure is fine. I gotta get her. Sure is fine. I'm gonna make that girl. Sure is fine. I gotta get her. Sure is fine. I'm gonna make that girl. Sure is fine. I need her. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Come on and work it on out. Come on and work it on out now. Work it on out. You know you twist so good. Twist so good. You know you got me going. Got me going. Just like I knew you would. Just like I knew you would. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Come on and work it on out. You know you twist, little girl. You twist, little girl. And you twist so fine. Twist so fine. Well, come on and twist a little closer. Twist a little closer. And I know that you're mine. You know you're mine. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Come on and work it on out. Come on and work it on out now. Work it on out. You know you twist so good. Twist so good. You know you got me going. Got me going. Just like I knew you would. Just like I knew you would. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Come on and work it on out. You know you twist, little girl. Twist, little girl. And you twist so fine. Twist so fine. Well, come on and twist a little closer. Twist a little closer. And I know that you're mine. I know you're mine. Well, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Shake it up, baby. Well, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Shake it up, baby. Well, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Shake it up, baby. Well, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Shake it up, baby. Good night. Thank you. Good night. We'd like to thank ICB.
You just had a chance to hear one of the most popular groups in the New York State area, The Choice. Many good things have happened to them recently, yet they still understand that diligence is the key to any really successful group. No matter what the theme, their songs always come out sounding happy and spirited, as anyone who has danced to them will agree. I'd like to thank Mark and Jay Mendelson, Jim Lawrence and Mark Party for their cooperation and help and wish them continued success. Also thanks to Chris Outwin. For Ithaca's Own, I'm Greg Lieberman.
Thanks, Greg. I just want to remind you that The Choice are appearing this Friday at the Ramada, and also Ithaca Zone is made possible in part by Ithaca Guitar Works, offering new and used stringed instruments, repair, and custom modification and accessories. Located in the DeWitt Mall, corner of Seneca and Cayuga Streets, Ithaca Guitar Works urges you to support local music. If you know someone who needs a little help due to a little cocaine abuse, call 1-800-262...